starting this week, boys basketball will be in full gear. The girls started this week already. The 205 Tip-Off Classic starts November 23rd. The last day is the 28th. Three of the high schools, Guilford, East, and Auburn, will be hosting the games. And with us right now from RPS 205, we have our good friend Emily Tropp. And Emily, I know what you're thinking. Good thing we didn't have the tournament this weekend, so we had to worry about the snow.
Oh, I would be a nervous wreck, yeah. None of our teams would be making it in, that's for sure. But I'm glad you guys made it to work this morning okay.
Yeah, that's what the nice thing about being a guest on our show is you can sit there on that phone and talk to us. That's why we take care of you.
My cup of coffee, looking out the window, you got it, yeah. It's beautiful out. We won't be saying this in January, but it's just gorgeous right now.
Yes,
right.
It is.
Well, we got the tournament starting on Monday, so what are we looking at here? We got some new teams, some teams coming back. Who are some of the teams coming in that we're excited about?
We are really excited. I know you guys were big supporters last year of this event and got it, helped. One of the people that helped us get it off the ground, we had 8 teams last year, and it was kind of unknown territory. But this year, we really expanded it. We have 13 teams this year. We've expanded it to the 3 venues. Last year it was just East and Auburn, and now we're having it at Guilford too. We've done things like add a website. We've partnered with WIFR, and they're going to live stream some of our games. So it's really taken it to another level, I think, this year. It went over so well in the first year, and we got a lot of community support, and we're excited to bring it back. I think 5 of the teams are coming back from last year, like East, Auburn. A big one, obviously, is Indianapolis Pike.
Mm-hmm.
The one coming from the farthest. Elgin Larkin is a big one.
Belvedere?
And Belvedere, yes, thank you, Belvedere. Those would be the 5 that are coming back, and then we've added 8 new ones, and I can list those off, too. Chicago Dunbar, Chicago Farragut, and Chicago Hyde Park are coming from the Chicago Public Schools. And then we have a couple of teams coming down from Wisconsin, Janesville Parker, Madison La Follette. Obviously, we've added Guilford, and am I forgetting one, or is that it?
Freeport. Freeport's coming.
Freeport, yes. We've added 2 Nick 10 teams. We have 5 of the 10 Nick 10 teams this year. So it's just really grown to a new level, and we're excited to get it off the ground next Monday.
I like about these holiday tournaments, and you guys brought in an Indianapolis school who is well-respected in the Indianapolis metro area. You bring in the 2 Wisconsin schools. I mean, Janesville's, that's a neighborhood school like that. It just kind of makes it a little bit fun for everybody watching the games and the kids that play. They get to see somebody they don't usually get to see, and the Nick 10 teams usually avoid each other. So it's going to be a good time, and we have the schedule on our website, and you have your website. It's going to be a fun week for everybody, and the weather sounds good, so you guys are off to a good start.
Yeah, and I think the teams that are coming from out of state, it's a lot of fun for everybody. 3 different states of basketball here. I mean, it's just fun to see the different kinds of play, the different, styles from coming from different sports for different states, even if it's just over the state line over to Janesville. It's just different basketball on a lot of levels. And my favorite game of the tournament last year was Pike Auburn.
Yes.
You were at that one, Dave.
I was at that one.
Yeah.
Probably was one of the best games of the whole season.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that.
2 teams in January or in November played each other. They played like they were, season teams playing each other in March. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to that Pike team again. They've got, we have a few of Division I kids coming in from some of the teams, and one of them's coming from Pike. And the other one is Larkin. I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the state. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be some wonderful games first week of the season this year right in our backyard.
And it's got to be fun. You mentioned about, bringing in teams from other states. When you get a team like Pike in here, who's usually a very, very good team in Indiana, and you got the Janesville teams, and you bring in a team like Larkin, you're in Auburn, obviously, as good as they've been over the years. You're really turning this into, in a short time, probably one of the better regional tournaments, not just within the state, but just kind of in the entire Midwest.
And that's Parker's goal for this. Matt Parker, that was his goal for this. That's his vision. He wants to develop like a quality basketball tournament that teams from all over the Midwest, kind of seek us out, and they want to come play each other here. And I think that we've got it off to a good start, not just on teams coming from out of the area, but our local teams. We can't really take a lot more local teams into this tournament because we want to be able to offer non-Nick 10 games to the other Nick 10 teams. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're going to have to. We can't really open it up to any more local teams at this point, unless we really grew it. But our vision, and it's not that we don't want our local teams in it, but our vision is to give some of our teams around here that kind of experience playing those teams from out of state, and just develop it like that. Yeah.
One of the things I like about it, that you guys are a little versatile, like I know Indianapolis Pike has those Indiana regulations. They only can play a couple of games. So you said, okay, we'll work that out. We'll bring somebody else in to fill those spots when you're not playing that stuff. That makes it a lot more fun, too, because then that way you can bring them in without having to say, well, if you don't play all the games, you can't play.
Right, and it's certainly been a learning process, trying to make it work with all the states, too, because I think last year when we first started the tournament, Wisconsin starts their season, I want to say Wednesday. So we couldn't play, any of the Wisconsin teams Monday. We had to juggle the schedule a little bit from what we originally wanted to do. It's just working with the different state associations is a little bit of a challenge. But I think we've got it down the second year here. We kind of know a little bit better about what we're doing. And like you said, the other teams have been very flexible. I think it's just as much fun for them to get on the road, come to a city, have their early season bonding time, if you will, staying overnight in the hotels in Rockford and playing a couple games here against we have some very good teams. So it's a great way for the teams from out of state to come in and start their season as well, I think.
I'm looking through the schedule here, and obviously we'll be excited about the local teams. I'm interested to see, Auburn against Larkin and Pike, and even Freeport against Larkin to be an interesting game. But, boy, I'm looking at a game on Friday night with Pike against Larkin.
Yeah.
That could end up being like the Auburn game last year, I think.
Yes, I think so. There's a lot of them you're looking at. I think right out of the gate, Auburn and Farragut on Monday night will be a good one.
Yeah.
I think on Wednesday, Larkin-Auburn. That's one of the ones that WIHR is going to air for us. And then Friday, Larkin-Pike. And Saturday, Pike-Auburn and Parker-Larkin, Auburn-La Follette. I mean, you just down the line, it's just going to be so much fun basketball. It's for the casual basketball fan, just to go and watch some of these games. They're just going to have a great time watching some of these kids play. The junior point guard from Larkin, I know, is still uncommitted. So we're really excited to see what kind of season he has. He was here last year as a sophomore, and hopefully, if all goes well, we'll be able to get this Larkin team back next year, too, and just kind of follow this kid's career. But
sure.
It's just a lot of talent out on that court. And I know, Auburn doesn't have the experience they did last year, but, they've got some good kids coming up, and that they're going to be competitive with these teams again.
I was thinking back to some other tournaments in the past in here. Not that it was any of these teams, but I know there's been issues with getting some of the Chicago teams in here, the public school teams in the past. Any concerns or issues with a couple of those teams?
Well, we've been able to make it work. They do have their hands tied in a lot of ways with funding. The Chicago public schools, we have 3 of them in our tournament this year. We're able to work with them a little bit as far as sponsorship money. Like I said, we've had some wonderful community support this year. I want to give some love to Associated Bank and Hackney Architects, Rockford Wildcats. Some of these associations and businesses like OSF, RACBB, and Rockford Orthopedics have been sponsors for this event. So we're not doing it by ourselves. It's totally a community effort. We have a lot of in-kind sponsorships that is making this work. So we're able to, kind of help some of these schools that might not be able to get here without sponsorship help to make it work, because this is for their kids too. This is for the Farragut teams that those kids aren't able to get out of the city and play very much. And so if we can, it works for both sides if we were able to get community support to be able to make it happen for all the kids to be able to play this tournament.
Real quick before we let you go, I know you talked about the local teams. I know those coaches, though, they don't mind getting a chance to scout all those other local teams, right?
Yep. The local teams get the chance to play who?
Or to get to scout each other, just to get to watch each other.
Oh, for the tournament?
Yeah.
You mean that...
Getting ready for conference?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, this is a great opportunity for them to do that right off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah. See, Emily's good. She knows when the music starts that it's time to leave. So, hey, Emily, thanks so much. The Tip-Off Classic is November 23rd to the 28th. East, Auburn, and Guilford. You can watch all the games there, and you can also check out 205tipoffclassic.net. Thanks again, Emily, for being on.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for all your support, as always.
Emily Tropp, and the big tournament starts this week.